This evening, the launch of a new mobile app could mean massive improvement in maths for students in Guyana. New envoy named by the United Nations to quell the ongoing border dispute between Guyana and Venezuela. The Lindenton clerk has won back her position, compliments of a just concluded commission of inquiry. Opposition leader Barra Jabdio is true to form as he resumes attacks on Kaiju newspaper. In the region, some discomfort detected between Jamaican scientists and the authorities regarding ganja research. And internationally, more attacks on U.S. President Donald Trump, this time from a former president from Trump's very own Republican Party.
TV headquarters in South Ramble Gardens. This is Safe TV Headline News with Basil Bradshaw.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel as well as our website safetvguyana.com. Join us. STEM Guyana Project, Science, Technology, Engineering, Math, has launched a new mobile app that it hopes will assist in improving the performances of the children, especially with mathematics. Andrew Wicks reports that the project received the support of the Office of the First Lady of Guyana and the Ministry of the Presidency.
We simply cannot afford to have our 10 and 11-year-olds begin to think that they're just bad at math. Math is a foundational subject. If you don't get it at 10, you're going to struggle at 11, you're going to struggle some more at 12. It goes even further downhill at 13, 14, 15, and by the time you graduate, you don't want to see any more of math. We just can't allow that to happen. And so we really have to nurture the talent that we will need to develop Guyana. And that is one of the reasons that we're here. We want no child, literally no child, should have the opportunity to develop according to their potential.
Mobile math app was created to help more than 14,000 local children who will be taking the grade 6 examinations annually. It will be available in the App Store for both Android and iOS devices for free download, but it is being rolled out in 4 phases.
We did an evaluation and we asked the people who won the app to answer some survey questions. In general, they gave us about a 4 out of 5. The number one complaint was they wanted to add science and social studies and English to the app. So they wanted their kids, as they sat down, not only to do math, but they wanted them to do 30 minutes on science and English and all this stuff. So that's kind of a good problem to have. But I was a little miffed that they took a point off for that. And so phase 4, we extend to the upper grades. We have the option to add first form math, second form math. Do we still say first form, second form? Yeah, first form math, second form math, third form math. Someone right now has actually done CXC work on an app. He just released it a couple of days ago, and I applaud that. I think that's great.
President David Granger was there to lend more support to his First Lady. Sandra Granger also expressed elation to be part of the process, saying that the app should make it easier for children to learn mathematics.
So I'm very happy and honored to be part of this process of creating excitement, I think, in our young children in learning one of the STEM subjects at this stage, which is mathematics, and in providing whatever assistance I can in helping our children to become enthusiastic and excited about STEM programs and products. So I am very happy to be here.
STEM Guyana also has the full backing from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of the Presidency. STEM Education envisions working with NSER to improve the functionality of the app, to test the outcomes and to improve the distribution to students and classrooms across the country.
Well, I found the app because Auntie Karen here, she showed me how fun and amazing the app was, and I really liked it, and now I'm using it. So she was the one that showed me about this app.
So fun and amazing. Has it helped you a lot? Has it helped you?
Yes, it's helped me very much.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thank you, Andrew. Embattled Linden Town Clerk Janella Bowen is expected to return to work in less than a week's time. A commission of inquiry ruled that she was wrongly removed from her position by the mayor and town council of the mining town. Andrew Weeks again spoke with the mayor, Carwin Holland, via telephone and filed this report.
The commission headed by Mortimer Mingo found that the no confidence motion that was moved by the town council on July 27 last year was in contravention of the standing order and the Municipal District Council Act. The COI advised that Ms. Bowen be allowed to resume her duties and recommended that she be transferred to another department so that she can function without any run-ins with Mayor Holland. Headline News spoke with the mayor via telephone, and he said she was found guilty on every count. But
But what happened, the way we moved the no confidence, that was wrong. We didn't move it the right way, they claim, even though we were advised to move it that way. CPP having their way in Linden, as they're having their way in the country.
Mayor Holland contends that he and the council will work with Janella Bowen, but she must carry out council's orders.
Because we believe in a democratic process, and we have to see the way forward and to work. If she disobeys and she doesn't comply, in other words, she's getting another chance. And if she doesn't comply, then we move the process all over again. But this time, we do it in writing, because apparently the last time we didn't do it in writing, it was done verbally.
The ministry has since written to the Linden Town Council instructing them that Ms. Bowen should be reinstated immediately. However, when Headline News called Bowen, she revealed this shocking information.
I have not seen a letter from the ministry, neither have I gotten a letter from the council. So all that I am knowing about reinstating me and the reinstatement would be from the media.
Not even a call from the office.
Not even a call.
Ms. Bowen said she's willing and ready to work with the council whenever she is called upon to do so.
With the council for the betterment of the township, because Linden at this point is in need of development, and I am willing to work and ready to do what is necessary based on policies that will be made, all in keeping with the law, the Constitution, or should I say not Constitution, but the Act that governs municipalities, Chapter 2801.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks again, Andrew. Guyana's border dispute with Venezuela may soon end following the appointment of a new envoy. On Monday, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres appointed Dag Halvor Nylander of Norway to help broker a settlement until the end of 2017. According to a UN representative, if no progress is made toward a settlement by the end of 2017, Guterres will choose the International Court of Justice as the next means of settlement, unless the governments of Guyana and Venezuela jointly request that he refrains from doing so. Coming up on Headline News after the break, hopes for cross-dressers in Guyana dashed following a court ruling, and opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo resumes his attacks on Kaicho News.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Today, the Courts of Appeals delivered its decision in the case McCune and others versus the Attorney General of Guyana. The case debates the constitutionality of an 1893 law regarding cross-dressing in public. George Gonzalez was there when the decision was handed down and brings us the story.
Transgender rights have been at the forefront of headlines in the U.S. as of recent. The United States is not alone in this debate. Many nations are currently grappling with this concept, Guyana included. This morning, the Court of Appeals made a final decision for the case of McEwen et al. Versus Attorney General of Guyana. The case debates the constitutionality of Section 153(1) of the Summary Jurisdiction Offenses provision, which makes it a criminal offense for a man wearing female attire and a woman wearing male attire publicly for any improper purpose. Today, the justices of the court upheld the law on the books, echoing many of the arguments put forward in the 2013 ruling by Chief Justice Ian Chang.
The judgment of the Chief Justice was clear that the section itself doesn't criminalize dressing in the clothing of an opposite sex if it's done as an expression of your gender identity or sexual orientation. That what makes it a crime is if it's done for an improper purpose. So they upheld the Chief Justice's view on that point.
The 1893 law essentially criminalizes cross-dressing by leaving the arresting officer to interpret what is improper purpose. Based on innate prejudices held by many, this can lead to abuse of the law, which is what led to the February 2010 arrest of 8 applicants in this case. Ultimately, today's case hinges on the vagueness of Chief Justice Ian Chang's 2013 ruling. According to the representative of the applicants, this vagueness is one that the court has yet to clarify.
The court said that they since Parliament didn't give any detail, they found it shouldn't be for a court to describe what is an improper purpose. So yes, indeed, there's no further clarification of what an improper purpose is.
He also referenced means in how the law has already been abused by magistrates, alleging that discrimination occurred just minutes before this case took place this morning.
But since that decision, we have had magistrates, as recently as today, excluding trans women from court for dressing in the clothing of the gender to which they identify. So that shows you how the law is so vague that even though the Court of Appeal is saying that it should be done on a case-by-case basis, magistrates seem not to understand what is an improper purpose, or they are treating attending court as an improper purpose.
The significance of the law goes beyond the ability to wear clothes typically worn by the opposite gender. The defendants, as well as many transgender persons, believe that the criminalizing of their ability to fully express their gender identity is why they will continue to fight the ruling, possibly even taking it to a higher court.
Well, we have to take instructions from our clients, but more than likely, because it is an important issue that deals with, the rights and liberties of subjects, of citizens of Guyana.
We heard you, George. Benjamin's Bakery, located at Middle Walk, Church of God Road, Buxton, East Coast, Demerara, was on Monday morning damaged by fire, which is suspected to be the act of arsonists. Senior reporter Andrew Weeks was there at the scene and filed this report.
At around 12:30 on Monday morning, the community of Buxton, Middle Walk, Church Road, woke up to the alarm of fire at Benjamin's Bakery. Speaking with Headline News from his residence was the owner of the bakery, Wesley Benjamin, who was shocked at the conflagration. Do you know what is the cause of the fire?
Where the fire started, what I see where the fire started, there's nothing there could cause fire. No electrical there, because as you see the building, it was under construction, so everything was out.
In a more shocking revelation, Mr. Benjamin posited that the fire could be the work of arsonists because of an ongoing land dispute.
The land of our issue, this is the only thing I know. The land in court like 23 years now or more. And only February, between January month to February day. January, the guy called who concerned in the land, his friend called.
Who's the guy?
Francis. Francis, you know? Joker is guy. I tried to get his other name. Something France, you mean. Right?
He called and said that.
Not he called. He always put his friend, I would say, to call, say, well, man, this thing could done with the thing out of the court because the land belongs to him. He have the transport and whatsoever. So I just always tell them that, man, you gotta get on to the people who own the business where you take it from, right? And that was it.
Fire Chief Marlon Gentle also shared Benjamin's suspicion with Demerara Waves Online News. It was observed that someone had broken the back of the building and set the fire. The office where the fire was believed to have started had tools that were being used for the renovation of the building. Some of the most expensive equipment was saved, including 3 ovens and machines that mixed the bread, among others. The driver, Orlando Ski, who transports bread to over 40 vendors in and out of the area, shared his views with Headline News.
I saw the fire from Friendship up in the sky. When I came over, the fire was already bulging the roofs and everything, right? So we trying to assist through a bucket, but the fire was too much. So by the time the fire will come, the guys come and try to contain the fire a little.
I should be quiet.
It was tragic.
Tragic?
Yeah, tragic.
Benjamin's Bakery, according to the owner, will be up and running within 2 months' time. There was also an outpouring of support from members of the community at the scene.
Man in the committee, look out for everybody. Very good man. Look out for each and every, up to the smallest child, look out for in the committee. Okay. And it's very sad to see the disaster that he's facing.
And for the community in terms of, the getting your bread and so
on?
on?
Getting everything. Though the bakery shop is on construction work going on there, they have bread coming down from Borbis to supply the people in the committee, out to the committee too.
I'm here to support my cousin in good times, bad times. As a family, we believe that all things work together for the good for those who love the Lord.
Mr. Benjamin had these words of assurance for his customers. So you will let them know that bread will be available for them?
Bread will be available back from tomorrow onwards until this branch open back. Kind of bittersweet, I would say, but I have the faith, I have the encouragement, and I'm strong. I think I'm strong to go through whatsoever I'm going through right now.
So you're willing to go at all lengths?
I'm willing to go all length to get it done again and up and running.
Bread will be available to customers from Tuesday, according to Mr. Benjamin. Damage to the bakery is estimated to be about $10 million Ghana. Andrew Wicks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thank you, Andrew. Opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo has lashed out at Kaicher newspaper, calling the publication fake news. George Gonzalez reports that Mr. Jagdeo leveled this and other accusations against the newspaper at a press conference today.
As you know, we have had a very contentious relationship with the Kaicher News, largely because of the false reports it has been carrying.
President Donald Trump brought the concept of fake news into the public discourse since his hotly contested election. Now, according to opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo, the wave of fake news has reached Guyana shores. Echoing the words of President Trump, former President Jagdeo accuses Kaicher News of introducing Guyana to the world of fake news.
Particularly in the U.S., both from the side of the Republicans and Democrats, they're both complaining about fake news. But in Guyana, the Kaicher News had invented this for the last 10-15 years. Fake news.
He specifically referred to an article regarding the construction of the Marriott Hotel. The article alleged many corrupt practices in the procurement process of various contracts made during the PPP administration.
And it gets repeated over and over and over again.
The opposition leader believes that the thought process of the COI members is flawed. Also, there could not have been a loophole if the regulation and
law governing procurement. They use regulations, 4 pages of regulation from the 1920s, another 3 pages or so from the 1950s, and some Secretary to the Treasury directives from the 70s. And those govern procurement. There was no law. So Bolton can't talk about anything to do with the procurement. In fact, he wasn't here when the procurement law was put in place.
The opposition leader has also accused the newspaper of unwielding an unfair and immense power over the government. Jagdeo has even accused Kaicher publisher Glenn Lall of using his position to unfairly influence government.
If a newspaperman can come into the parliament in a restricted area and call a member, a vice president, come here, and take him upstairs, and then they can call the head of a regulatory agency, sitting down in a meeting, the Prime Minister presiding, and direct him how to do his job, then the influence has to be huge. That influence has to be huge. And I suspect that it's being peddled every single day in other places. And the country needs to know.
It is Jagdeo's belief that the newspaper's attacks on the previous administration come from a desire to make the then government capitulate to its will.
With us. And he didn't succeed because he believes that he can get his way, corrupt way in all of these issues. And he never succeeded. And that's why probably he hates us with a passion. But he gets his way with this government. He can, by threatening to carry stories that are hostile to him, they succumb to his demand. And so
whether or not Jagdeo's characterization of Kaicher News is correct is up for debate. But based on the headlines from across the world, it's clear that fake news is here to stay.
Thanks, George. Still ahead, some discomfort detected between Jamaican scientists and the authorities regarding ganja research. And it's former President George W. Bush's turn now to take a dig at U.S. President Donald Trump.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now, one of Jamaica's leading researcher scientists is this evening expressing frustration with the Cannabis Licenses Authority, the CLA. Founder of Medicanja, Dr. Henry Lowe, says there has been a challenge getting approval from the CLA regarding groundbreaking products despite the Ministry of Health's approval. TVJ's Shimela Michel reports.
Jamaica is one of 4 countries in the world to have products made from the ganja plant for medicinal use. Dr. Henry Lowe has been a pioneer in the research of medicinal properties of ganja from as far back as 2013. However, despite these advances, Dr. Lowe explained that there has been a major setback in marketing these products. While getting the green light from the Ministry of Health, the Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA, is still on the red.
I've got approval for 4 products right now, but I can't do anything with them without the Cannabis License Authority. It's one of these strange, peculiar things, because what the Cannabis License Authority is saying is that you cannot do anything without us. Even when the legal authority for health, which is the Ministry of Health, has given approval. So we got to get our act together.
Dr. Lowe says this has been going on for months. When asked the reason, he says he has not been given one, and so he's concerned. He argues that this does not happen in other countries.
In every country, once your Ministry of Health take that determination, because it's a rigorous process to get it accepted as a pharmaceutical for sale as a medicine. And when you get there, you still can't do anything because there's another agency has nothing to do with health telling you can't do anything until they approve it. It does make sense.
Dr. Lowe says they have made the first discovery to develop a treatment for glaucoma from ganja. Since then, there are 19 other products for critical treatment which needs to go on the market.
We developed this product called Canasol, which is for glaucoma. It's an eye drop. So we have established ourselves in the world as starters. We have several other products that are being developed, and among them are the products which are extracts from ganja. And we have 19 prototypes that we have already researched and developed, waiting to go to market.
In response, the CLA says it has received the applications from Meriganja. However, it cannot comment on the status at this time. Shamela Mitchell, TVJ News.
International news now. George W. Bush takes shots at Trump on Russia probe, travel ban, and free press. President Bush defends the indispensable media in a rare interview. Power can be very addictive. The Republican president, ex-president that is, appeared on Monday's NBC's Today's Show with Matt Lauer to promote his upcoming book, Portraits of Courage. Here is a clip on the interview.
President Bush, it's always nice to have you here in the studio. Sir. Thanks for joining us.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. So let me get caught up on some things.
Okay.
You took office in 2001 after an extremely contentious election, controversial end to that. The Supreme Court decided it. The nation was incredibly divided. How would you compare the divisions we faced then to what we're living through right now?
You know, it's hard to compare times. One thing, though, is for certain, the job's a tough job. Everybody looks at the presidency when they campaign one way, then they get in office and find out there's a reality to the job. And, you know, there's been times where we've been divided. I remember growing up as a kid, and when I got out of college, we were really divided. And you know, it requires a lot of people coming together to try to make us united.
But there's enormous division right now, and although President Trump has said he hopes to unify the country, have you in the first month seen him do or say anything that, in your opinion, would be an attempt to heal the wounds of the election?
Well, first of all, there's only been 1 month in office, and so it's you know, he's got 4 years. Secondly, I think you have to take the man for his word that he wants to unify the country, and we'll see whether he's able to do so. It's hard to unify the country, though, with the news media being so split up. When I was president, you know, you mattered a lot more because there was like 3 of you, and now there's all kinds of information being bombarded out, and people can say things anonymously, and it's just a different world.
Well, you bring me to an interesting point, because you were a guy who faced both praise and criticism from the media during your time in office, even at the times where you were dealing with the worst criticism, where it must have been very difficult to hear and read some of the things that were being said by the press in this country. Did you ever consider the media to be the enemy of the American people?
I consider the media to be indispensable to democracy. That we need an independent media to hold people like me to account. I mean, power can be very addictive, and it can be corrosive, and it's important for the media to call to account people who abuse their power, whether it be here or elsewhere. One of the things I spent a lot of time doing was trying to convince a person like Vladimir Putin, for example, to accept the notion of an independent press.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to you know, tell others to have an independent free press when we're not willing to have one ourselves.
You mentioned Vladimir Putin. So many questions about the contacts between Trump associates during the campaign and the Russian government. As a former president, would you like to see a special prosecutor appointed to look into this once and for all and give the American people answers?
Well, first of all, I think we all need answers. Whether or not the special prosecutor is the right way to go tonight, you're talking to the wrong guy. I have great faith in Richard Burr, for example. He's the head of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Really good guy and an independent thinker. And, you know, if he were to recommend a special prosecutor, then I'd be, you know, it'd have a lot more credibility with me. But I'm really, you know, I've never been a lawyer. You know, I'm not sure the right avenue to take. I am sure, though, that question needs to be answered.
It was only 8 or 9 months after you took office that the attacks of 9/11 occurred, the worst terrorist attack on American soil. And just after those attacks, you gave a speech and you said this: "I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. It's practiced freely by many millions of Americans and by millions more in countries that America counts as friends. Its teachings are good and peaceful." That's very different talk than what we're hearing today about a Muslim ban. Do you think the president's position on this has been well thought out?
I think it's very important for all of us to recognize one of our great strengths is for people to be able to worship the way they want to, or not worship at all. I mean, the bedrock of our freedom, a bedrock of our freedom, is the right to worship freely. And You see, I understood right off the bat, Matt, that this was an ideological conflict, and people who murder the innocent are not religious people. They want to advance an ideology, and we have faced those kind of ideologues in the past.
But by banning people from 7 predominantly Muslim countries from entering this country, do we make it easier or harder to fight the war on terrorism?
Well, I think it's very hard to fight the war on terrorism if we're in retreat. And I think we learned that lesson, that, you know, if the United States decides to pull out before a free society emerges, it's going to be hard to defeat them. The enemy is very good about exploiting weakness. It's going to be very important, if that's the goal, to defeat ISIS, which I believe it should be, that we project strength. Now, whether or not the domestic politics plays helps them or not, you know.
Just want to make sure I understand. You for or against the ban? You're against the ban?
I am for an immigration policy that's welcoming and that upholds the law.
On a more general note, you sat at the inauguration, you listened to President Trump's inaugural address, and he talked about American carnage.
Yeah.
And the fact that so much has gone wrong in this country and so much is wrong. Is that the America you see when you travel around this country?
Well, the America I see often is the America that these vets represent, people willing to sacrifice for the greater good, to put their lives on the line, and then come back and make America a wonderful place to live. And that's why I'm here. I'm selling this book.
Tell me when to go. And that's Channel 2's headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find the Channel 2 headline news on Facebook, YouTube, and safetvguyana.com. You can tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast. Until then, this is Basil Bradshaw signing up from the Newscast.